Hello everyone, I am FrostCloud on my Mr. Chaos the Cunning Wolf channel. And today I will be reacting to MLP Season 8, Episode 21, A Rockhoof in a Hard Place. Now, even just by the title, and also by some screen caps I've seen, apparently Rockhoof is supposed to be in this episode. You know, one of the pillars? I mean, I know we've already seen Starsword the Bearded in Friendship University, but looks like we're finally seeing some more of the pillars. I mean, are they going to have something to do with the finale, which I've heard is called School Raise? As of the time I'm recording this right now, it is Saturday and the finale did just come out. I'm just playing a game of catch-up right now, as I said in my update video. But, yeah, a Rockhoof in a hard place. Just the fact that we're seeing another one of the pillars, that gets me excited to see this episode. And I have no theories. I have no idea how this episode's going to go. I've only seen, you know, very vague screen caps of Rockhoof in this episode, but that's just about it. So, without further ado, let's get started.
You're going to have to work faster than that if you plan to dig up.
He seriously sounds like Shrek!
Like me.
I've said it in my reaction to the finale before. He sounds like Shrek. Okay, with Rockhoof sounding like Shrek, I am just picturing a particular friend of mine, if he so chooses to react to this anytime, or if I ever tell him about this episode anytime, he is gonna make a bunch of Shrek jokes. I can just picture it right now.
Perhaps you could use his unusual talents?
Of course, Professor Fossil. We'd be honored to have a...
Oh, that's her name! Okay.
Oh, that apple's made of wood! What a horrible trick to play!
Has any pony seen my decorative centerpieces? They were right here.
Good luck!
Oh no.
There's nothing you can't do with hard work. And a shovel!
Except maybe stand on stage.
I almost forgot what a good roaster Smolder is.
You're gonna like new teacher. He big. Like yeah.
Oh yeah, I was about to make a comparison, like, is Rockhoof gonna be pretty much the pony equivalent of the yaks in this episode?
Spell to trap discord in stone sleep for hundreds of moons.
Okay, that guy just behind Ocellus sort of looks like he's from Somnambula.
You fight Ursa Major? All alone?
Aye, and I did...
And you thought an Ursa Minor was bad enough.
It sounds like Rockhoof just hasn't settled into modern times yet. Our school is the perfect place for that.
Yeah, so is Rockhoof basically, you know, like Tarzan, basically? Like, what I mean by that is, you know, is this gonna be like a whole introducing a caveman to the modern world scenario? I mean, I'm not the most interested in these scenarios, but I mean, well, I don't know. Let's see how MLP tackles it.
Now you lot be the Ursa Major. Lots of growl in mind.
Sounds more like dogs, but okay.
Maybe classrooms were less breakable in the old days?
Fire!
Rockhoof, wait!
No time! The building's ablaze! We have to get every...
What caused that? Did Smolder do that on purpose?
Let's get you outside, wee ones!
They just got better!
Oh, cool! This is an interesting way of being a firefighter.
Rockhoof? What are you doing?
Save it
What's-
the school!
What's causing the fire anyway? Is Smolder doing this in... Oh, okay, maybe not. I mean, he...
Just like fighting a volcano in the good old days!
Okay. Rockhoof is a bad flank, seriously.
Did you not see the smoke and flame?
Yeah, that was us. You know,
What were you-
dragons, having a fire-breathing competition.
You?
What?
What?
What? That was dangerous, though. You could have...
Seems I don't belong here either.
Oh. At least someone's enjoying it.
I thought you were gonna try him out of the post office.
We did.
Do you know where I can find Cranky Doodle Donkey? I need to deliver his medicine. He has a rash in a very embarrassing place.
That's a big mistake to make when you're a... Yeah.
Rockhoof's time as a spa masseuse didn't work out either.
Now, just let me know if this is
Oh,
too
he's
much
even
drag.
gonna hurt both biceps as well. I mean, I feel bad for Rockhoof, but I mean...
Do a job carrying heavy stuff? I tried that already. Sakura needed somebody to help her get supplies, but...
How could that possibly go
I
wrong?
know you said you only needed a few leaves, but I figured why not bring you the whole thing?
Oh, no. I thought he was almost gonna accidentally bring flash bees.
Trot, 2, 3, 4. Keep it lively, rookies!
Oh, cool. Is he a secondary captain of the Royal Guard?
Hey, halt!
I didn't know they could have black armor, too. Is that, like, new?
Cuff, you old ditch digger, you.
Flush Magnus, as I live.
You know, I find some relatability in that black armor. Like, is that something new in Candlelight, or is that just for, like, training rookies or something? Because, okay, let's just say I am writing a backstory for my OC, not gonna give a release date because I really don't know when I'm even gonna start writing it again, but, the guards of the city where my OC lives do have black armor, so I guess it just goes to show that, you know, just because somebody has black armor doesn't just automatically mean they're evil.
Once a soldier, always a soldier.
Princess Celestia was happy to find a new drill sergeant for her guard.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, so he is somewhat like a captain of the Royal Guard.
They made you the royal landscape artist for the Crystal Empire?
Wow. I'm really loving this episode in terms of the pillars so far.
Shovel ponies like me nowadays.
Don't give up hope. See Somnambula.
What? Why not go to Yakistan? They like smashing things.
Somnambula's a motivational speaker. Bet they didn't even have those back.
This is gonna go wrong quick.
Give it time. Even Star Swirl's still learning about.
Is Star Swirl gonna be involved in this, or is he still somewhere?
Look what I found. Me and My Shadow, the third hit novel by former villain Stygian. I'm impressed.
Oh,
Really
cool!
I'm honored to serve
Hippogriffia?
in the Navy, General Sea Spray. I
Oh,
promise I'll prove my worth.
cool!
Think nothing of it. I know how hard it is to adapt to a new home. After
Okay,
our many years below.
Wait, General! We can navigate the same way my cultic ancestors traveled through the silky mists. We'll look to the stars! There in the northwest sky is the constellation
gonna help?
of Rydal's Belt. Steer the ship toward that.
You heard the pony crew. Make full sail.
Who did it?
Oh, great. Come on, that was so awesome, too.
Why would you want to be turned into stone?
Because I'm a relic of a bygone age. I belong in a museum. Safe, preserved, untouched.
I find this to be pretty much the MLP equivalent of someone saying, I want to commit suicide. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, if he's a statue, I mean, he's still technically around. I guess Twilight could change him back, but I mean, still, I mean, yeah, okay, you all get the picture.
Did you hear that Rockhoof caught all the bees in the Everfree Forest and gave them to Zecora as a gift?
Well, Terramar said
It wasn't a great gift.
Your instructions are to write an essay on heroism and what it means to you.
No.
Oh, don't worry. It doesn't have to be a long essay.
Maybe,
Thank you.
like...
As the Princess of Friendship, I'd like to appoint you as Equestria's official Keeper of Tales.
That's very kind of you. But I still think these old bones are more suited to a museum display.
You are a living record of our history. Your stories can inspire and teach generations to come. If you're a statue, that's...
Once there was a small yak that knew more than a great hero.
Hey, don't forget the dragons in this one.
Aye, there were dragons, and ponies, and plenty of hippogriffs, plus a changeling and a griffin.
Wow, I have quite a lot of thoughts about this episode, so I'm gonna get the obvious out of the way first. The pillars, seeing the pillars again, excluding Starswood the Bearded for some reason. I mean, is he gonna come in during the finale or something? I mean, it doesn't really make much sense that we only see him during, you know, Friendship University. I mean, I mean, it was good. It was nice to see him in that episode, but I mean, is he ever going to make another appearance again? I mean, it just, well, both uneven, but also interesting to see really just all of the other pillars, excluding Starswell the Bearded, but guess just the focus was just meant to be on Rockhoof, and, you know, we already know that Starswold already has his place in the world anyway. Well, I guess sort of. I mean, he's still exploring Equestria, so... One thing I definitely will say is, when Yona, like, that moment between Yona and Rockhoof, like, near the end... that honestly reminded me of that moment in Fame and Misfortune when Coconut Cream and Tularula were brought by Starlight, you know, back to the castle to show the main six, like, despite all of the fights, you know, in their fan base and, you know, despite all the disagreements, there will be fans out there who look up to you and, you know, want to thank you for what either your lessons or whatever you created has done for them in their lives. So, I mean... Yona felt like a much more personal example of that, you know, even in her, you know, Yakistan accent. But I really did like that moment, you know, it was a very clear example, you know, even though you may feel like you're worthless or useless in the world, you know, there'll always be people who care about you. And like I said, I can't help but feel that, honestly, the whole statue spell thing in real life, that translates to suicide. I mean, I can't be the only one who sees this comparison. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not. But still, I mean, just like the previous episode with Lightning Dust and Scootaloo, I mean, that was pretty dark. I mean, just with what it can connect to in real life. But at the same time, I can understand, you know, there can be people out there who are like Rockhoof who feel like they're worthless in the world. Either it's because they've been through something horrible like me, or they're just normal, but they just don't really feel like they have a place in the world. Like, maybe it's a disability they have, maybe a handicap or something. They may be feeling that way, but it just goes to show that there will be someone who cares about you. If not your family, well, maybe a friend. Or maybe someone who just looks up to you, somebody who's inspired by you. And, you know, this can even tie back to content creators like myself as well. Like, you know... Bullying comments don't affect me anymore. Like, I tend to either laugh at them or just ignore them because they don't affect me. But, you know, if someone out there is affected, like I used to be affected by them, you know, it's usually important to, you know, take a screenshot of some of the comments who have said something positive about what you made. You know, maybe said something like, hey, I look up to you, or hey, I'm a fan of your channel, or this was very well done, you know, you deserve a lot more subscribers. Like, you know, should definitely try to screenshot more of those, you know, to have as reminders, because, you know, if they get deleted or false flagged or something, you know, it's like Twilight said, you know, those are memories gone. Well, I mean, yeah, it's somewhat similar, but, and speaking of what Twilight said at near the end, having the old stuff around present day to remind the new generation of, you know, how good things were back then, or maybe just to share some nice things from back in the day, like either history buffs or people like me who have a lot of appreciation from the old school days versus, you know, the modern days. But, you know, I really like that message, you know. You know, we shouldn't just leave old stuff in the past and just leave them to vanish, you know. We should still keep them around, you know, like our old video games or our old electronics or something. Or, you know, maybe you can even tie into an example of just, you know, visiting grandparents or something. You know, like, we should always have appreciation for the older things in life. So, and I know this, recently I have been getting a little more positive. Like, I have been seeing positive things with this generation, you know, like inventions and everything, like technology. And this very camera I'm speaking into right now. So, and the ability that I'm able to even film in 1080 HP. So, but my point is, you know, despite there being some positive things with this generation, you know, we can't just beat around the bush. There are a lot of negative things about this generation. I'm not going to state examples because I don't want this to be depressing, but pretty sure some of you can take a nice guess. But, you know, this episode just goes to show, like, just like me, this is something I even find myself saying a lot, you know, we have to have appreciation for the old stuff as well. And the segment where Rockhoof almost landed a position in the Mount Eris Navy or the Queen Novo Navy or whatever he referred to it again, but just the Navy of Mount Eris, I'm just gonna say it. But you know, I was really hoping that that would be a position that Rockhoof landed in, but I mean, then again, then that ending wouldn't have been able to happen, but still, that was awesome. I mean, I was glad that we were able to see the hippogriffs again. It was great that we were able to see General Sea Spray again. You know, I just really like that. Just anything that reminds me of MLP, the movie, like, I like it. It's just me. I know other people may think differently. Maybe analysts will think differently, but you know, I'm just another fanboy of that movie still. So yeah. And seeing how far the other pillars have come, I mean, you know, it was absolutely amazing. Like, you know, seeing like they're not characters that have just been pushed off to the side to make way for the Student 6 or something. No, you know, they still remember them. So. And it's cool to see how far they've come. And I especially like Flash Magnus. Again, I found the black armor interesting. You know, it just goes to show that, you know, you can have characters, you know, guard characters with black armor, and they're not bad guys. You know, I know, you know, the Storm King soldiers and guards had black armor, and, you know, Tempest and Grubber had black armor, but... You know, obviously Tempest and Grubber are reformed, and obviously all the guards are reformed, and, you know, the Storm King is outright killed. You know, that's a rarity in MLP nowadays, that a villain is just offed like that. But, yeah, anyway. But, you know, it just goes to show, you know, you can... And just in general, you can have a black OC or something, and, you know... I can understand people have the opinion, you know, if you make your character black, that gives them, like, an evil vibe or something. I respect that, you know, I understand people may have that opinion. But, you know, I'm one of those people who think differently. I think, you know, it really doesn't matter what color you make your character, just as long as, you know, you have a story with it, just as long as you have originality. Or, more importantly, not even just a story, just as long as it makes you happy. Just as long as your OC is you. That's all that should be important. But, okay. Whenever something is unscripted, I tend to go off topic. But, yeah, what else is there to say about this episode? Miss Maine's Crystal Garden was absolutely beautiful. I might actually make that into a wall. Or maybe when I do a review on this episode, maybe I'll make that as the background, you know, in front of, you know, behind my vectors. But, yeah, maybe. Or maybe I'll make it as a wallpaper on maybe my tablet or my computer or something. Who knows? And once again, Rockhoof seriously sounds like Shrek. And it was so entertaining. Like, you know, despite the struggle he was going through, you know, it was absolutely entertaining. And, yeah, I mean, there's not really much else I can say about this episode, but honestly, right next to the washouts and a handful of other episodes, I would also say this is also another one of my favorites of the season as well, because, again, with all the things I've talked about, you know, it's always good to have appreciation for old school things, and, you know, it had a very good message of, you know, even though you may feel like you have no purpose in the world, you know, you feel like you've been left in the dust by the older generation, you haven't. There are other people who look up to you, who care about you, who still have appreciation for the older stuff. Yes, a lot of people, all the kids nowadays, only like the trendy stuff, like whatever annoying new meme is made, or, you know, whatever new Vine compilation is up, but, you know, there will always be the people like me or some other people who still care about you, who, you know, they'll say that you are still something to them. So, okay, I didn't mean to get that emotional, but, you know, this is a topic I tend to get very serious on, but it's one of the reasons I absolutely love this episode, so... Anyway, that was my reaction to MLP Season 8, Episode 21, A Rockhoof in a Hard Place. Hope you all enjoyed it. My name is Frostcloud, and have a wonderful day. Brohoof.